U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Mark the Shark. The Blue Jackets play their second preseason game tonight at home against St. Louis. Among those who will suit up for Columbus, Sean Corrali, Eric Branson, Yegor Chinnikov, Kirill Marchenko, and Elvis Merzlikins. Face-off is 7 o'clock. Our coverage begins at 6:45 here on The Fan. The Guardians have earned a first-round bye in the upcoming playoffs. In Cleveland, Lane Thomas hit a 2-run homer, Kyle Manzardo a solo shot, and Josh Naylor had 2 RBIs as the Guards whipped the Reds 6-1, giving them a pass in next week's wild card round. Cleveland is assured of, at worst, the number 2 seed and won't begin the postseason until the divisional series on October 5th. Also last night, the Astros edged Seattle 4-3, so Houston wins the American League West title for the 4th straight season. This Sports Center is sponsored by The Waterworks. Trust the pros at The Waterworks for all your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Visit thewaterworks.com to get started. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan.
In high school, Bobby was a district swimming finalist. Also, Beamer still wears floaties. This is Morning Juice.
Hour number 3 of the program for us on a Wednesday. Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here at 8:33 this morning, John Keim, ESPN NFL insider for the Washington Commanders, host of the John Keim Report podcast. He's going to join the program. We're going to talk some commies with him. How special is Jayden Daniels? How are they feeling? And what a great time to be Terry McLaurin. Finally got a guy. John Keim coming up here around 8:33, a little bit later on here this morning.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Guards retain the Ohio Cup for the 10th straight year. Decade of dominance, 6-1, 6:40 p.m. They're back at it again tonight. Crew hosts Club America. Campiones Cup final over at Lower.com Field at 7:30. So big one here at Lower.com Field tonight. Then opposite of that, Blue Jackets playing at Nationwide Arena for their first preseason game of the season. That is a 7 o'clock start, 6:45. You can catch the coverage right here on The Fan. Shark, you were just talking about the Brown stats.
Yeah.
And I could have followed you up with that. But I wanted some time for this. So
I want to give him time to realize his crimes.
Yeah.
How can love be real, Shark?
Do you know what the EPA analytic is in football, Bob?
I think it's the Environmental Protection Agency.
Correct. Yes. It's basically like WAR in football or in baseball, like wins above replacement. Expected points added is what EPA stands for.
What are you going to bring to your team?
Hey, how many are you worth, right?
Yeah.
How many are you worth? What's your EPA, man?
Compared to the average quarterback.
Compared to the average quarterback, correct. So, I'll read you the explanation actually right here. So, let's all go cross-eyed for about 40 seconds as I read this. In order to calculate EPA for a play, one has to know the expected points before the play and expected points after the play. Expected points is based on down and yards to go until a first down and distance to end zone. The values for expected points has been found by taking historical data and computing the average number of points scored by possessing team in each situation. The graph by The Athletic, shown below, displays how many expected points change based on distance from the end zone and down, although it leaves out the yards until the first down's variable. So anyways, it's this big math equation that they go through, and then they spit it out with either good or bad numbers on the other side. Just basically like any other analytics when you're looking at the game of football or baseball or sport.
You want a big number or a small number?
You want a big number. All right? The bigger the better in EPA. So like a perfect EPA is 6.0, because that's how many most points you can score in a football game on a single play. So Austin Gale, who now works for The Ringer, and he used to work at Pro Football Focus. Makes sense. Analytics guy. That's like a big analytics firm.
Is that what they do over there?
That is what they do over there. Here's some bad news for the Browns in your guy, Deshaun Shark. Deshaun Watson's EPA, again, expected point percentage or whatever you want to call it, per dropback in weeks 1 through 3 of this season. Now, Austin Gale, all the quarterbacks to start a game for the Cleveland Browns since 2000. Okay?
Mm-hmm. That's everybody in their history.
The reboot history.
Yeah.
Everyone in the reboot history. So there are 23 individuals on this list. Deshaun Watson, through weeks 1 through 3 of this season, out of the 23 players on this list, ranks 23rd.
Oh. That's good.
Oh. No, that's not where you want to be, Bob.
That's not where,
it's
not where you
not?
want
I
to
thought
be.
you
This
wanted-
isn't golf. You don't want to be low. You want to be high.
Now, he
I mean-
also said the bottom 16 quarterbacks in EPA per dropback since
Does that
2022.
include Kelly Holcomb?
That
Yes.
Bob, actually,
Does that
Kelly Holcomb is number 2 on the list.
Does that include Fry?
That does include
Akron's very own Charlie Fry.
Chuck
Charlie.
Fry?
Charlie Fry's not on the list.
What?
Not on the list. Quarterback to start a season. I'm sorry, to not start a game, but to start
Okay.
a season.
The starting quarterback in game 1.
Yeah,
How about
because
Juan Manziel?
he's not on the list.
He never started. Was
Not
it?
the
He didn't
opener.
start week
He
number
wasn't-
1. It was.
So he only
it was a
started
quick
like
burn
half
on
of
Johnny.
1 year?
Okay, it was a quick burn on John.
Dude,
He was there 2 years.
but he didn't start.
didn't start an opener.
Wow, I feel like there was kind of missed potential with that.
So Brian Hoyer
just
in
needed more time,
2014
Shark.
is number 1. Number 1, Brian Hoyer in
Lakewood Laser.
2014. Yeah.
Started the season 7-4.
Should have got him to the playoffs.
Under Mike Pettin.
Wow. Kelly Holcomb is number 2 in 2002. Tim Couch is number 3 in 2000. Derek Anderson's number 4 in
07.
2007. And then Baker is number 5 in 2021. So those are your top 5 guys. Deshaun, the last 2 years, in 2023 ranked 21st.
Deshaun of the
And
dead.
Deshaun of 2024 ranks 23rd, dead last. Baker in 2019 actually ranked 20th in 2019.
Wait a minute.
It's per season. So there are multiple iterations
Do you
of
know what
Baker
Mike
on this
Pettin is
list.
Oh,
doing?
okay.
Do you know what Mike-
2019.
Yeah.
2018, his first season, our starting quarterback was who?
It was Tyrod.
Tyrod for game 1, right?
Tyrod Taylor,
Got
yeah.
injured, and Baker started game
Don't you
2.
remember they congratulated your guy Hugh Jackman?
Yeah. Hugh Jackson.
Huge Ackman. Jackson. Either way. Don't you remember during Hard Knocks when he congratulated Baker on winning the backup job?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the great moments in Browns history.
I remember they had that sweet
Captured.
RV in the parking lot that they used to do their like studies out of.
So great. Do you know what Mike Pettin's doing now?
What is he doing?
He's a defensive coordinator for no
Not quite. He's assistant head coach, but
College or pro?
pro.
Green Bay. I thought
No, he was in Green Bay. He
DC in Green Bay.
Yeah, he got fired from there. He's an outside backers coach in Minnesota.
Okay.
I would say of all the coaches they've had
I liked
since
Penn.
their return, he's probably been. I mean, and we're talking, Butch Davis and Mangini and Chud. We had Chud for 1 year.
What about Freddie?
Freddie for
Yes.
1 year.
Freddie got fingered.
I would say that Pettin was the best head coach they've
I
had.
want you- well, you
Chris
know-
Palmer was in there.
Oh, I forgot about Chris Palmer. He was our QB's coach in Dallas when I was there. You know what we need to do? Oh, let's not forget Shermer.
Yes, Pat Shermer.
Pat Shermer
2
was in there,
seasons.
who's now the OC for the Colorado Buffs.
Yep.
You know what we need to do? We need to power rank all of the Browns coaches, head coaches, since we've had them. I mean, I think that would be a great exercise one day. Number 1, can you name them all? Number 2, where are they now? We can do the Sports Illustrated piece. What are they doing now?
Romeo is in there. Don't forget
Well,
about him.
Romeo Cornell.
Romeo Cornell. There has only been one who had previous NFL head coaching experience, and that was Hugh Jackson, who was in
The Raiders.
Oakland for 1 year.
Yeah.
Other than that, they've been taking coordinators. They took, obviously, Butch Davis out of college.
What do you think the solution is, Shark?
I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but listen, that contract has dragged us down. Now, it wouldn't if Deshaun was performing.
What if he was preforming?
If he was preforming, then you would look past the 3 first-round picks you gave up.
Well, of course you would.
And you would, bypass the massages and all that stuff. But on top of the amount of money you paid.
Do you think the Panthers are worried about the 3 picks they gave up for Bryce Young?
They are today.
Absolutely not.
They are today. But I don't. Here's the thing. It's not going to turn around, and they're not going to cut him. Now, if he's found guilty of not being forthcoming with the information about the massages.
They're praying for that. Yeah. I would be if I was them.
I'm sure
I would
be
planting things around him and paying people off.
Going on social media. I would go plant rumors.
I would go full Michigan State and find out whoever we need to put them in the situation to testify, to say whatever it needs to be said.
They're going to hire the best lawyer. They're going to hire Johnny Cochran, the late Johnny Cochran, to represent this woman down in
full
Houston.
Stallions. Yeah. Doing whatever they can.
Do you know what Chudzinski's up to?
No idea. Is he in college?
The Chudmeister?
It's Chuddy time. He's got no
BC?
Wow.
What?
Off the top ropes.
I was watching their game this weekend.
Football associate head coach on offense for the Boston College Eagles.
I knew that somewhere in my brain.
Wow. I don't know what his relationship is with Bill O'Brien.
Well, he's an associate head coach.
No, I know, but usually when you pick your staff, you're picking guys that you've worked with.
Maybe they cross paths at some time.
Yeah, cross swords for sure.
O'Brien ever on that Brown staff?
He was already there with Halfley. They retained him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was there in 2000 or 2020.
It's pretty impressive that you retain a guy because usually, it's a full-on staff change when that happens. So that's Deshaun's number compared to the rest of the starters each year. Now, it doesn't get any better either because when you compare him to EPA in 2022 league-wide, there have been 42 players to start a season. Deshaun is 40th this year.
It's pretty good.
Sandwiched in between Zach Wilson and Mac Jones.
Oh,
perfect.
My gosh.
That's right where you want to be.
And who's 42nd?
Bryce Young.
There you go. Another guy. Look, Carolina, they're not regretting those picks. Browns, they're not. Bleep those picks is what they say.
Sam Howell on this list. Will Levis is actually 36, so he's not even.
That can't be possible. Will Levis is throwing an pick 6 every game. Every single one. And they've lost them all.
I think one was a fumble recovery 6.
Okay. A fumble that never hit the ground. He just
swoop and score.
I'm not sure if he was throwing it. He went to the left hand, kind of batted it. It was, Shark, you got to scoop it off the ground. The guy caught it out of the air. I mean, it was ridiculous. I've never seen, I can't wait. I want to watch the Titans game this week just to watch him.
Well, the good news is that you get to watch him on Sunday Night Football.
Yes. Even better.
Monday Night Football, not Sunday Night Football.
It's the second leg.
What do you think Collinsworth's going to say about that? Here's a guy, he is out of control, man.
Who's starting for Miami?
Skylar Thompson.
Is he?
Oh, wait. We
had the rib injury.
We get a Levis-Skylar Thompson matchup.
Who is Miami's backup?
I think Miami is.
It's someone terrible.
Yeah. I don't think Skylar's starting this week.
It was someone who you wouldn't even
Tyler
know.
Huntley.
Oh, that's right. They brought in Tyler Huntley. Hold on.
It is also then Tim Boyle after Tyler Huntley.
Absolutely. Tim Boyle.
Let's look up his career stats real quick.
That's must viewing Sunday night.
It is.
It's Monday night.
This is what the NFL. This is why they started flexing Monday night games.
Tim Boyle has played for the Packers, the Lions. Didn't know he played for the Bears, and then the Jets.
Probably started some games for him.
He was 2 of 8, 25% completion percentage with 2 picks.
For the
Bears?
Good for him. So he completed 4 passes, 2 to each team.
Football isn't a game of stats, says Ryan Day. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, the ramp from 670 eastbound to 270 northbound is shut down on the east side. You'll have to detour to 270 southbound, flip around at South South Hamilton Road to get back onto I-270 northbound. We're also still watching a crash on the far east side on I-70 westbound just past 256 and on the ramp from 270 eastbound to Alum Creek Drive. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
The clock is ticking. Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is almost over. Until September 30th, you can get 5 years of 0% financing on any purchase. It's the perfect chance for worry-free shopping with no interest and monthly payments customized for you. And now open Sunday, September 29th. Take advantage of this amazing opportunity. From luxury timepieces to engagement rings and more. Don't wait. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only until September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Ready for the best car buying experience? Visit KruegerFord.com today. Explore our amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Service and parts available when you need us. Come experience the Krieger commitment. The best cars, the best people, peace of mind. Visit KruegerFord.com today.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the Sportsbook, the ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside Hollywood Casino. Yes, they've changed the name.
It is better than ever, but they're still going to have your favorite teams on the biggest screens. You can place your bets, grab some wings and an ice-cold pint, and even hang out with us.
We're going to be there broadcasting live from 3 to 6, Friday, September 27th. And we've got tickets to give away, so come and be with us and hug us.
Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every single night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I get it. But there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. What a concept. It's quick, comfortable, and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and he has a track record to prove it. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded their medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or you can visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com.
They come here illegally, crossing our southern border. Then Sherrod Brown rolls out the welcome mat for them here in Ohio. Brown voted to give amnesty to 11 million illegal immigrants, including those convicted of crimes like drunk driving, aggravated assault, and child abuse. And Sherrod Brown voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities in Ohio, which release dangerous illegals back onto the street, making Ohio's neighborhoods less safe. And while we struggle to make ends meet, Sherrod Brown is voting to give illegals taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals granted amnesty, Social Security, COVID relief checks, even a program to fly Haitian migrants into Ohio airports, all paid for by you, the taxpayer. You think you know Sherrod Brown? Well, after 31 years in Washington, Sherrod Brown's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, 79 for your high, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of rain. Thursday looks dry with a high of 80, and then tracking showers and wind on Friday with a high of 81. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
One of these guys thinks Clintonville was named after Bill Clinton. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Coming up here at 8:33 this morning in our next segment, John Keim of ESPN, Washington Commanders insider. He's going to join the program. We'll break down all things commies. What a great feeling it must be to be Terry McLaurin right now, right? You finally got a guy. It's pumped for Terry on Monday Night Football. Sad for Bengals fans, but it was awesome to see Terry doing what he's doing. So John Keim, ESPN, he's going to join the program coming up here around 8:33 this morning. What about Ryan Day, Bob? He had his press conference yesterday. What's his mood heading into Sparty?
Yeah, I don't feel good about anything. That's just my mindset. Yeah, I don't. That has to be everybody's mindset. You start to feel good about something, and complacency can sneak up on you fast. So no, nobody feels good about anything.
Football's zero fun, sir. Nobody feels good about anything.
And you shouldn't. Feeling good leads to complacency, Beam. When you feel good about things, you obviously aren't able to have this. If you have nothing to prove, you'll never improve. And I'll continue to say that. So when you start to feel really good about stuff, it's not a great situation. So you always have to stay on the edge. And I keep going back to this with him, being in the head coach now that doesn't have to call plays, you can be someone who is more invested in everything and understand everything that's going on and more of the nuances of the little details here and there of what needs to improve and what needs to get better, as opposed to just kind of staying in the silo that you're living in.
How would you assess the defensive line play so far?
Last week wasn't as good. And part of that, Tyleek was out. You would think like Ty Hamilton was player of the game the week before.
No players of the game this week.
Nope, there were no players of the game.
No.
Maybe no one graded out good enough to be able to be player of the game. And I would say that when you have a 49-14 victory, most people would take that. They covered the spread, I believe.
No.
They were right there.
Yeah.
They're close.
Yeah, they did not.
It wasn't like it was a Notre Dame against Miami. They gave up 2 drives in the first half defensively.
Notre Dame against Northern Illinois.
Which that's the ultimate. And that's the ultimate. And obviously what has happened. And when you get upset and beat Beam. But I think the defensive line, the play has been good to this point. Last week, I wouldn't say is a step back, maybe a little bit of a slide back somewhat. There really wasn't the production. And when anytime there's quarterback runs that are happening, some of that's going to be on the linebackers, some of that's going to be on the D-line. And if there's scrambles and not designed runs, a little bit of that's going to fall on the D-line to get off blocks, stay in rush lanes, and make those plays.
So I thought this was interesting from Ryan Day talking about defensive line stats and sacks in particular.
What's important for everybody to understand, and that includes, JT and Jack and our guys, is, if an offense decides that they're not going to give up any sacks, they can run the ball every play, throw RPO, or get a ball out of their hand quickly. And so it isn't a game of stats. What you got to do is you got to stop the run. And if the quarterback is in a situation where he's looking to run quarterback draw or quarterback power or those type of things, we got to stop the run first. The sacks will come. So, just to go out there and think you're just going to go sack the quarterback if one of the things that the other, side of the ball decides is we're not just going to take a 5-step drop and hang on to the ball. And those opportunities aren't going to be there. You have to defend what the other team is trying to do. And so, that's just the bottom line. And, when you have talented pass rushers like that, you're going to get some different styles of play. And so we all just have to make sure that, we understand the goal is first is to stop the run. And then secondly, it's obviously, about disrupting the passing game. But there's different ways to disrupt the passing game. And to think that, we're just going to, guys are just going to drop back pass in a game like that, it's going to happen. The ball came out quick. Quarterback did not hang on to it. So, there's a lot of things that come with that, and we could talk about this for hours, but I want to make sure that the number one goal is the number one goal, and that's to stop the run and get off the field on 3rd down, whatever that takes. And it may not be a sack.
But it was a really, really good point that Ryan Day drove home, not only to everybody out there who was listening to the press conference, not to anybody in that room, but also to the guys in that locker room. Listen, the sacks will come. Guys are going to attack you different ways. They're running RPO. They're doing different things. They're doing quarterback draws. Do your job. Stop the run first. Get them in uncomfortable situations where they'll have to do the 5-step drop. Your defensive backfield is so good that it's not going to be 2.5 seconds that they're getting the ball out if it's not going to be a quick route. If they want to launch the ball down the field, it's going to take them a while to get open. Do your job, stop the run first, and then those numbers will come later. I thought it was a really good point from him.
It is. Anytime you want to take the D-line out, you can run the ball for their pass rush. And then, like you said, getting rid of the ball in less than 2 to 2.5 seconds. I don't care who you are. It's really difficult to beat somebody that quick and get a sack. So then it's either you start blitzing, lighten them up, and hope to get some free runners, or you try to punch, get hands up, bat balls down. Do you start rolling up your coverage to take away some of the quicker throws? Like, there's mechanisms that you can invoke to be able to get that done, but it's hard. I mean, do you want to keep playing ultra aggressive when you know you should be able to get off the field? Maybe they get a first down, maybe they get 2. You don't want them to ever put together a drive like that. But when you're playing ultra aggressive, like just to try to promote a shutout when you're like, we're going to win and win this game comfortably. There will be times in games where you need to go get off the field and get aggressive. But I think that was what people lamented a couple of years ago was like, do we need to be aggressive like that all the time? And so you got to pick your spots and figure out what your guys are good at and what they feel comfortable with.
What about the offensive side of the football and kind of everything that they're doing and how diverse they are on that side?
We want to always be able to run it right at you, run it outside, run it or throw the ball, horizontally and throw it vertically. And when you can do all those things, you're putting the defense the highest amount of stress as possible. And a big part of that though is what the defense is giving. If they want to play real deep and keep it in front, then we got to do a good job being efficient with those. If they start to challenge a little bit more, then we got to get behind them and run by them. So if you can do all of those things along with, in the run game, have the quarterback involved with it, again, we feel like that's putting a lot of stress on the defense. And the key is when they take away something, can you get to the next thing? And that's what's important. But we've worked hard to try to make sure we have diversity within the offense.
As much as he was talking about that point with the defensive line, Bob, and how you got to stop the run, him and Chip Kelly know very well that if you stop Ohio State's run, not that it becomes one-dimensional, but it becomes way more significantly difficult to then throw the football if you're able to stop down that running attack. Now, nobody's really been able to do that so far with Quinshawn and Trey, but you're going to have a point in time where that run game is not going to be going and you're going to have to rely on something else. And so I think it's just a fascinating thought process of how he's dissecting both sides of the football right there, kind of with the same streamlined thought.
And so, like, offensively, like you said, with what Chip's doing and some of the different things he does back and forth, you getting the run game going, helping to get the pass game going. Like, there's a lot of diversity in that offense. And that's what everybody wanted to see. Like, nobody wants to fall in love with the pass, although it looks great and score fast. But Ryan has talked about this the last 3 years. You've got to be able to run the ball when they know you're going to run the ball and in critical situations. And so that's why they've continued to lean in on the run game. The pass game will come and it will continue to develop. And we've watched these huge plays. When you have receivers that talented, you know they're going to be there. It's just a function of keeping that thing greased.
John Keim, ESPN NFL insider for the Washington Commanders. He's going to join the program. We'll talk about their monster win in Cincinnati with him next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching crews block the ramp from 670 eastbound to 270 northbound on the east side. Also still watching heavy delays on I-70 westbound coming in from the far east side, just past 256. There is a crash blocking that area. And the ramp from I-270 eastbound to Alum Creek Drive still slightly blocked off due to a crash. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Use your own body's healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get you real lasting pain relief? That sounds amazing. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine. And if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, I've had it before. I've had it in my knee. I went and saw the professionals, the experts at QC Kinetics. They're the leaders in regenerative medicine. guess what? There's no surgery, there's no drugs, there's no downtime. And my dad did it as well. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients just like me. So I'm back to running again. My dad is back to walking again. They've got locations conveniently located in Dublin and Gahanna. So go check them out by going to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing.
Giant Eagle and Market District have deals for school days. Find the savings you need to start the back-to-school season. Return to your routine and save big in the process. Over 1,000 items with incredible low prices throughout the store. Deals for days. Visit your local Giant Eagle or Market District today.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
At Pella, we use the newest technology to show you exactly how new windows would look on your home.
Well, we keep it simple at our window place. We use a number 2 pencil to draw what your house will look like with our new windows. See?
Oh yeah, that definitely looks like a number 2.
Thank you, Leslie. Wait, I see what you did there.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
There's always time for the drive-thru deal. Because no matter how fast you are at making breakfast, McDonald's is faster.
Wake up to McDonald's breakfast and mix and match a classic sausage McMuffin, delicious sausage burrito, or crispy hash browns. Get any two for just $3. Order ahead in the app and pick up curbside. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. Feel great, Columbus.com. The Fan.
If you make a wisecrack about Dayton Pizza, Beamer will murder you dead.
Humor. I have it too.
This is Morning Juice.
The Wednesday edition of the program, Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Right now, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, checking with our guy, ESPN NFL insider for the Washington Commanders, also host of the John Keim Report podcast. He is the aforementioned John Keim. John, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Know it's busy. Had some travel from Cincinnati back to the DMV area. What in the world did we see on Monday Night Football down at the Jungle? What a performance by Jayden Daniels and the gang.
Well, first, they're spending the week in Arizona, so I had to fly from there to Arizona. It's kind of a long week. So, but what you saw was, I think, the start of something in Washington with Jayden Daniels. And, there's still a lot of holes on that roster, but I think they can feel really good about the quarterback for the first time in a long time. And what you saw was, I can't say he played really well. So I don't want to say that, well, I just expected that. But what you're seeing from him is what we've seen from him since he got here. There's a poise with him that I think you see the accuracy. We knew the legs, but you see a lot of the attributes, and they all kind of came together in that game. And what we didn't know when watching like this summer was exactly how it would fit or when it would kind of come together. Now, there's a long way to go for him still, but, this is kind of who he is. The numbers are, they're not going to be like that every game, but the point is, I guess, he's capable of that. And I'm not surprised that he had a game like that. And the other thing, too, is like, guys like that just, when it's a spotlight game, and guys like that just tend to do things that, match that stage.
Absolutely. Terry McLaurin stepping up on a big stage. I'm sure it's nice for him to have a guy who's a competent signal caller and able to push the ball down the field.
Yeah, and it's funny because the first couple of games they didn't. I think there was like 8 catches. It was only like 39 yards or something like that. So obviously every time that happens in Washington, it's like, why can't you get the ball to McLaurin? And my thing was, I thought that for sure the connection would happen, mainly for 2 reasons. One, in training camp, they had the connection, so it's there. The first game of the year against Tampa, there were a few shots that Terry was open for a 70-yard touchdown. He just missed them. There was another play where Terry, if McDaniels had thrown it back shoulder, it's a completion. He opted for a fade. It wasn't there. But the point is, like, he's looking for him, get on that, quote, same page. The other thing is those two talk all the time. And, whether it's texting in meetings and film rooms, constantly talking so they can kind of see what the other is seeing. And that's why I knew, like, it's going to happen where he's going to have a big game. And and I know McLaurin is really, really excited to play with Jayden Daniels because I think because of the communication and because you can start to see things the same way on some of those routes we need to adjust, or like he can tell him, like, listen, safety's playing me flat-footed, that's going to me, right? And that's kind of what on that last touchdown, he's like, get me the ball, because he knew the coverage was going to be, get me the ball.
It was,
and Daniels trusts him to go get it.
It was pretty remarkable, too. I mean, I think I let out an audible gasp on that 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 6 or whatever it was. I'm like, it's not supposed to happen. And we're all thrilled here in Central Ohio for Terry McLaurin. Unless you're a Bengals fan, then you kind of had your heart ripped out of your chest there. But, I mean, that's a guy who's been through a lot. There's been organizational changes. We talked to you in the offseason. You bring in a new head coach in Dan Quinn. You have new management. You have new ownership. You took Jayden Daniels with the number 2 overall pick. Like, it does seem to be, John, I know we're early in the season, and who knows what this season's ultimately going to hold for them. But it does seem that an organization that's been kind of figuring out what it wants to do in its identity seems to at least have it now in this early portion of the season and moving forward into the future.
I think you're starting to see it form for the first time in a while. And, listen, every football coach wants their team to be a physical, tough team, right? But not every team drafts those kind of players. But I think they're getting a little bit more of that. But also, I think then the explosive plays, and you can get that with Daniels, you can get that with McLaurin. And so, it's been a dramatic change in that building, in the locker room, everywhere. And so I think that, I mean, you know, with Ohio State, you set a standard. Now, this is not Ohio State, but it's about you have to set a standard first for how you expect to practice, how you expect to play, et cetera. And I think after the first couple games, even last week, they beat the Giants, and it was like, you know, it has to be better because there are a lot of things that just weren't good enough. And I think that's a good approach. But I also think they have some players to make it work better, and it starts with Daniels because, again, the defense has holes. I mean, the defense didn't force a punt either. So they have not looked very good. But when you have a guy like number 5, you know, a quarterback, sometimes it can cover up a lot of sins elsewhere. And so I think that's what they're starting to see too. And it's funny because when you talk to guys in the locker room, like when you ask them about Daniels, there's just a different look on their face when they're talking about him, or a different sound in their voice. And the other thing that helps though too is they really like him, and because he's just kind of one of the guys. You know, he doesn't put himself above. He's like, I'm here to do my 1/11th. Now, his 1/11th is what you saw Monday night, but that's his job, right? That's how he kind of looks at it. So I think that teammates embrace who he is and how he works. I think the work part is the biggest key. So you can do all the identity stuff, but if you don't have the quarterback who can handle it, it's harder to build it.
Definitely is. Talk with Keim here about the Washington Commanders, Cincinnati Bengals. Surprised that the Cincinnati defense, I know the Daniels played well. This Washington offense looked good. Surprised that the defense was giving up that 38 points.
I think they felt pretty good about it going in.
Well, they definitely felt good about it, John, with some of the comments going on.
Yeah, no, but I think that was. I mean, they haven't punted since the season opener. I don't think you can go in there and say, "Oh, we're going to hang 38 on them," right? So, but I do feel like they believe they could move the ball and through the air. And I know Cam Taylor-Britt had his comments, and it's funny because that wasn't a huge topic in that locker room. But what I do know is I know they felt like they could get a couple things against him, and we saw that. And you saw it to McLaurin, right? So I know just the way he plays the leverage, all that, they felt like there were a couple things that McLaurin could get off of him. But yeah, I think, I mean, they also, with the run game, this is where actually surprised me. They didn't run it as well as I thought they would, because the Bengals had a lot of guys missing on that line. So I think that was the other surprise too. Like, they did a pretty good job against Trey Hendrickson. And I know he had a couple pressures, he had a sack, but I think for maybe what I was expecting, it was much better than what I expected. And some of it was chipping, a lot of chips and all that. But yeah, that Bengals defense isn't. But they weren't very good last year either. So, I'm not surprised that they had a bad game. I kind of thought it would be one of those 36, 33, whatever type games, but with the Bengals probably winning because of Joe Burrow.
John, before we get you out of here, know you're a Buckeye. You keep an eye on Ohio State all the time. How you feeling heading to Sparty Land this weekend?
Well, I feel pretty good. I want to see, my thing is too, that Oregon game is the one that they're obviously really good, but I like when teams have to go on the road and face the level of adversity. And obviously you're going to see, it's on the road this week, but that's what I want to see is how do they handle that? Because we know how talented they are. And I don't know who's going to be able to stop that offense with the way. I mean, there are times where Chip Kelly, you wonder what they're holding back and what that's going to look like, because they're holding stuff back, and that's what's kind of scary if you're an opposing coach. I think you have to be pretty excited, but I want to see the big road game test and then go from there.
That's a couple of weeks away because you got Michigan State this weekend on the road. You get Iowa at home, and then of course,
And Iowa's obviously a good test, but that atmosphere in Oregon is going to be incredible, and so that's the one where it's you can really, really, reveal more of who you are in that kind of a situation. That's it, and I think they will.
John, always appreciate the time. Thanks for giving us some time here this morning. Have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the week, buddy, and we'll check in again soon, okay?
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I always enjoy it.
Absolutely. There he goes. John Keim covers the Commanders of ESPN, also hosts the John Keim Report podcast, which you can download anywhere you get your podcast from. He was with us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're going to reveal our fan poll next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching crews block the ramp from 670 eastbound to 270 northbound on the east side. Also still watching heavy delays on I-70 westbound coming in from the far east side, just past 256. There is a crash blocking that area. And the ramp from I-270 eastbound to Alum Creek Drive still slightly blocked off due to a crash. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Heaven on earth. It's here in the mountain towns of West Virginia, draped in vibrant reds, yellows, and oranges. Some of America's most spectacular fall colors. The perfect backdrop to autumn adventure, from scenic train rides to fall festivals, and a cozy cabin waiting at the end of the day. Fall is almost heaven in West Virginia. Plan your getaway at wvtourism.com.
Welcome to the greatest show on turf at Great Lakes Kia.
I'm pretty sure that's just tile.
And you can feel the excitement in the air. Brand new Kias under $5 a day.
I'm Bart Zimmerman, General Manager at Great Lakes Kia.
Bart's coming up big. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV Wind, and Sorrento LX.
Under $5 a day. $5.
Oh, and the fan favorite, new 24 Kia Telluride LX, under $8 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Even new 24 Kia Carnival LXS, under $9 a day.
There's a flag on the play. It looks like credit interference.
No problem. Get approved with 1.9% financing.
Take the winning drive to Great Lakes Kia.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus,
GreatLakesKia.com.
Visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
The clock is ticking. Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is almost over. Until September 30th, you can get 5 years of 0% financing on any purchase. It's the perfect chance for worry-free shopping with no interest and monthly payments customized for you. And now open Sunday, September 29th. Take advantage of this amazing opportunity. From luxury timepieces to engagement rings and more. Don't wait. Spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest on approved credit. Only until September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com.
Bishop and Friends.
The only thing not DVRable is sports you care about. You are leveraged because of that. It's the reason that these rights deals are going for as big as they are.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Chaps here, and yeah, I'm about to be a dad. First kid, a baby boy. It's a big deal, right? Honestly, I didn't think too much about my health before, but maybe, just maybe, I knew something was coming. That's probably why I dropped 95 pounds last year with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Perfect timing, because now I won't be lugging around all that extra weight while trying to keep up with a toddler scampering around my feet. And look, I know there are some sleepless nights coming. Bring them on. I've got the energy for it now, and I'll be ready to roll thanks to getting my health in check with Awaken 180. Maybe you've already got kids, maybe yours are grown, or maybe the parenting life isn't for you. Either way, here's the deal. Life is just better. Your health will be better when you're not carrying around a bunch of extra weight. Awaken 180 is a whole new ballgame. Get on it like we all have. It's fast, easy, and you'll keep it off thanks to free support for life. Visit awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you ready to unleash the beast?
Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, partly to mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of rain. High 79. Tonight, low 64 under partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy on your Thursday with a high of 80. Tracking the remnants of what will be Hurricane Helene, possibly bringing us some rain and wind by Friday and Saturday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Bobby is known as the General. Beamer is known as Beamer. This is Morning Juice.
Wrapping things up here. Wednesday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Uncle Bo and the boys, they'll be up next. We're going to continue to talk about this Matt Schutte situation, the quarterback from UNLV, and kind of what's going on there. We'll get into that here in just a second. And they're also going to be joined by Jake Trotter, covers all things college football for ESPN. He's going to join the program for them coming up here at 10:33. So all kinds of good stuff for Uncle Bo and the boys coming up here. We just had John Keim on. He's great, terrific human being, does a really good job covering the Washington Commanders. He came on the show at 5:33 a.m. That's West Coast time.
There you go. Committed to the game, Beam.
Yeah.
Committed to the cause.
He really is. How about that?
Front of the show. So
the Matt Schutte story, in case you're just now joining us and you don't know this, UNLV currently ranked in the coaches poll, not ranked in the AP poll currently, but they are contenders to be in the college football playoff because they're not a Power 4 conference. Highest ranked Power 4, non-Power 4 conference team will get into the college football playoffs. UNLV currently sits in 23rd in the coaches poll. They're just outside in the AP top 25. They have wins on the road against Kansas and Houston this year. Matt Schutte last night at 12:35 tweeted, "I've decided to utilize my redshirt year and will not be playing in any additional games this season. I committed to UNLV based on certain representations that were made to me, which were not upheld after I enrolled. Despite discussions, it became clear that these commitments would not be fulfilled in the future. I wish my teammates the best of luck this season and hope for the continued success of the program." Yeah, that's a pretty wild story out of UNLV.
Yeah.
That's a pretty wild one in college ball.
Well, I mean, when you don't fulfill your commitments, this is the lever guys have. I mean, it's just the same as in the NFL. It's withholding services. If you're, and this is promise to pay, not even, I don't like my contract or this or that. We don't know the full details of it at all, but there's a good chance that what was promised is not being delivered. And so this is what he has to do. He's got 1 year left. This was supposed to be that 1 year. He can take a red shirt and go play it somewhere else.
That's the power that the player has now, right? I mean, saying, hey, and we don't know. This is all speculation. I'd imagine that we're going to learn maybe more throughout the
more than imagine.
We'll find out throughout the day in the next coming. I mean, we're Wednesday. They're going to play on Saturday. Coming up here again. I mean, we're going to find out the crux of this situation. But if it was promised to him that something was, pick a number. Right? Pick a number, pick a dollar amount.
$100,000.
If it was $100,000 that was guaranteed to him upon signing, because he transferred from Holy Cross, he played 4 years there. If it was $100,000 that you were guaranteed to get in this NIL package, and it said, Matt, we can't get there. Unfortunately, we can't do that. And the only power that they have is to withhold their services, which is what he is doing. Now, if it's a situation where he goes in and says, listen, I want more, and they were unwilling to do that, that's a whole different ballgame. So I don't know what's going to go on here, how UNLV is going to go on the attack, how they defend themselves from that. But that's a pretty one-in-a-kind college football situation that we've seen so far. Starting quarterback, potential college football playoff team, undefeated, big wins against Houston and on the road against Kansas. Pretty wild stuff out in Vegas.
Yeah, very, very wild stuff. So we'll kind of monitor that and see how it goes. There's been a couple other whispers of murmurs of like guys doing this because things weren't as they were supposed to be, but nobody has just said straight up, I'm out, and this is why. But this is happening now.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. What do you got on the docket here for a weekend Wednesday?
Oh, goodness, I don't know, Beam. A lot of stuff. We've got the tonight I'll be over there with Dr. Pete at the Adaptive Sports Connection Banquet. They do a lot of great work here in Central Ohio for people with obviously some disabilities, physical disabilities, that they can get out there, do some of the great recreational activities. So they do a good job putting together events and just different areas where you can go and utilize some outdoor space if maybe you don't have full function of all of your limbs. So it's pretty remarkable. I've been a part of it before in the past. I'm going to MC it tonight. So got a little XM from 3 to 6, and then heading straight from there, heading over to New Albany to get that done. And then I also have got a dentist appointment at 1. So Buckeyes.
Absolutely, man. That sounds good. We have an accessible playground by our house, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really awesome. So that's fantastic stuff. Yeah, I'm going to settle in. Going to watch the Crew tonight. Hopefully hoisting another trophy by the time that we get to tomorrow. Got Club America in town. The winner of winners. They're the Mexican champs. We're the MLS champs. Apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, I know that MLS and Dong Arbor is going to do anything they can to try to get Miami into the FIFA Club World Cup. But apparently the winner of tonight's game will then get into the FIFA Club World Cup next summer. $50 million on the line just for entering the tournament. So I don't know if that's the case or not, but anytime that there's a big trophy on the line, you want to make sure that you're going to win that bad boy. So the Crew in nice form, coming off a big win over the weekend, crazy wild win. We'll see if they can get another one tonight. So that's what I'll be watching this evening, right at 7:30 as that bad boy kicks off over at lower.com field. So super pumped for another opportunity yet to win another trophy here in Columbus. Continued unbelievable run that they're going to be on. Before we get out of here today, our daily fan poll at 971thefan.com or on Twitter at 971thefan. Would you like to fire your favorite NFL team's head coach? Yes or no? Now, preface this by saying Shark and I had this conversation yesterday because Bengals fans saw him on Twitter, not thrilled with Zach Taylor. Browns fans saw him on Twitter, not thrilled with Kevin Stefanski. I'm a Bears fan, follow Bears fans on Twitter, not thrilled with Matt Eberflus. It just feels like nobody's happy with their NFL head coach. Would you like to fire your favorite NFL team's head coach? 55% saying no, 45% saying yes. I think that reason has won out.
55-45? I mean, that's barely.
Yeah, it's still on the opposite end what I thought it was going to be.
I guess. There's a lot of teams out there, Bean.
There's a lot of bad coaches out there too, Bob.
Bad situations, bad coaches. There's a lot of bad ball being played.
Bob, I had so much fun today. What do you say we reconvene on a big Thursday if they allow us? You good with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Everybody have a great day. Uncle Bo and the boys up next. We're back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to break everything down. Have a good one. Talk to you then. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we are still watching crews clear up a crash on the far east side on I-270 northbound. The left shoulder blocked off in those northbound lanes just past Broad Street. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
This is a Fan Action Update.
If you're in an NFL pool, chances are that pool's in shambles. The biggest NFL favorite each week has lost outright for the first 3 weeks of the season. First time that's happened for 3 straight weeks since weeks 10 through 12 of 2001. That includes the Bengals twice to the Patriots in week 1 and Commanders in week 3, and the Ravens to the Raiders in week 2. For your action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Scott from the Cleveland area has coached girls basketball and supported his granddaughter's athletic pursuits.
My granddaughters have worked hard to excel in sports. It's tough enough. So the idea that Sherrod Brown voted to allow transgender biological men to compete in girls' sports, it's unfair and dangerous. And introducing a bill to allow biological men in girls' locker rooms? Biological men to shower in my granddaughter's locker room? No way. I worry about the safety of my family constantly. Now I have to worry about Sherrod Brown's crazy liberal ideas. I thought Sherrod Brown was on my side, but he's way too liberal for me.
Sherrod Brown has let Ohio down. Now he's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next
next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
It's Wrangler season out there. T-shirt days, denim jacket nights. A pair of broken-in jeans you could live in. Open roads, endless horizons, no destinations. This is when adventure starts calling. And you need to be ready in jeans that are made for the unpredictable journey that we call life. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.